Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen. In the past, I have incorrectly identified the person on the left as Rachael Evans from the Socialist Alliance. However, on closer inspection, it's just someone with the same haircut and glasses, and I don't know who it is. However, this is Rachael Evans. She's in New South Wales, but recently she was in Western Australia.
Well, I was going to say good morning, but I think it's literally just turned 12:01, so I'll just say howdy. Welcome to No Rainbow Capitalism. What will it take to win LGBTIQ plus liberation? My name is Ree. I'll be chairing this session. I'm a fairly new member of Socialist Alliance. I am that blue-haired leftist, obviously. And I'm very privileged to share this stage today with some incredibly talented and hard-working speakers. Quick housekeeping, I'm assuming everyone's already been here, but bathrooms, snacks, and if you're not already on the Green Left or Socialist Alliance contact list and you would like to, grab one of our members and we'll grab your name and number down. We are holding this conference on Wajak Noongar Budja. The Socialist Alliance stands in solidarity with all Indigenous peoples, especially, of course, those of Australia, in the ongoing fight for freedom from incarceration, land rights, and genuine material sovereignty. Land was never ceded, always was, and always will be Aboriginal land. So the introduction to this session is No Rainbow Capitalism. This is sponsored by Queer Liberation Boorloo, which we will be discussing things like pink capitalism, profiting off or exploiting LGBT people and culture, the struggles that our people face, and how they are enmeshed with other social issues. Introducing the speakers who will be slaying, serving, and speaking on this stage today, we have Rachael Evans from Gadigal, Sydney. Rachael is an organiser for Socialist Alliance and a long-term LGBTIQA rights campaigner. Mayoral member for City of Sydney, National Housing Justice Campaign Coordinator, and City of Sydney for Palestine activist. And they will be discussing queer solidarity with Palestine, queer rights in New South Wales, and religious freedom. We then have Jasmine Noel, who is an activist with Queer Liberation Boorloo, who will be speaking on queer youth and referring to background in social work. Then we have Nova Sobiralski, so from Boorloo, Perth, from our last two. And Nova has been a member of Socialist Alliance for a long time, who is involved in campaigns for trans rights through Queer Liberation Boorloo, and will be speaking on queerness as a challenge to the nuclear family. After the panel, we will be opening up to discussion, and we'll take a few questions. We'll see how we're going for time. And just a reminder that the session is live streamed, so anything that you're asking a question or making a point for discussion will be filmed and eventually go public on YouTube. Should we? Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll leave it to our wonderful speakers.
Thanks, Ree. I will switch on a little bit of a PowerPoint. Testing 1, 2. Here we go. Awesome, thanks very much, Ree, and thanks everyone for coming along. My contribution is going to touch on the origins and nature of LGBTIQ plus oppression and what we're up against in the 21st century to win sex and gender liberation, where Palestine is under siege. It will include an appraisal of our advances and challenges in so-called Australia, and I'll use sex and gender diverse and queer to describe LGBTIQ plus interchangeably in this talk, to describe everyone within the rainbow community. I also want to acknowledge that I am a visitor to this beautiful country, and actually that queer comrades and friends have been organising some amazing work, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all of that. I want to acknowledge we're on the Whadjuk Noongar people's land. They are the traditional owners of where Perth City is situated, and it was the British colonialists that marauded this beautiful land and people and imposed rigid sex and gender binaries on the First Nations communities. Our liberation is bound up with First Nations justice and land, and we strive to pay active solidarity to achieve our common goals. I also want to acknowledge that I've forgotten the PowerPoint, but here it is. This is Lydia Thorpe at 2023 Mardi Gras. And I also wanted to acknowledge the courage and resilience of our sister Chelsea Manning, who gave Julian Assange the Iraq war documents, which exposed the US war machine's brutality. That both are free today is testament to the resilience of the anti-war movement. Now, as comrades in the Global Eco-Socialist Network, and as we will hear more today at this Eco-Socialism conference, speakers will explain that capitalism is in a deep and unresolvable crisis. The system's private profiteering by the ruling class is precipitating a global ecological collapse, which can only be resolved by a social revolution that places workers and the poor in control. The billionaire class are fleecing workers through inflation, housing prices, and stagnant wages. Profits are at an all-time high. In 2023, the world's 5 richest men nearly doubled their wealth compared to last year, year 2022, with their collective wealth rising from $405 billion US to $869 billion US. And because the rich get richer by exploiting workers and the environment at greater rates, 5 billion people have suffered a fall in income in 2023. So the drive for further profits from the 1% is insatiable. The bosses bay for more sweet deals from the political class to assuage their fall in the inevitable boom and bust cycle, where some are sacrificed on the altar of free market competition. And over the last 9 months, we have seen how far Western imperialism is prepared to go to maintain its political and military dominance, with Israel's genocide on Gaza live-streamed for millions of people to see. And as the emperor is laid bare, the system becomes more unpopular and the ideological bag of tricks from the 1% becomes more brutal. A polarisation process is underway as rulers whip up fear and loathing amongst the dominant worker groups towards queers, migrants and Muslims to distract from the crimes that they are committing. They say the crisis in housing, for example, is caused by migrants and refugees, not governments refusing to build homes for the people. This ratcheting up of the blame game is most acutely playing out in France, where President Emmanuel Macron is slamming the new Popular Front Left Party's program, saying it's totally immigrationist, a phrase used by the fascists, and also saying that some NFP policies were grotesque, like the fact that you'll be able to go just down to the town hall and change your sex. Now, wouldn't that be wonderful? The fascists and the social democrats alike are targeting queers, migrants, Muslims and socialists, trade unionists and so on. This polarisation is also attracting particularly young people to become progressive activists or to take left-wing politics more seriously. So there was a recent awesome report by the Oz government, a poll. 53% of young people between 18 to 24 in Australia want more socialism and less capitalism. So there is a polarisation. It's not just going to the right. It is also coming to us. Okay, so now, the origins and natures of queer oppression. Sex and gender diversity is a natural part of human existence. Queer oppression stems from the institutions that also oppress women: private property, the patriarchal family unit, and the authoritarian state. Colonisation imposed rigid gender binaries onto First Nations communities. Look at how the British repressed the Hijra in South Asia and the sister girls and brother boys in this continent, or the Portuguese and Spanish efforts to eliminate Two-Spirit Indigenous North Americans. Now, capitalism has been forced by strong movements to offer reforms to the rainbow community, But our oppression won't be resolved until we smash and wither away these institutions that keep us in chains. Again, actually, this was a photo by Zebedee Parks at 2023 Mardi Gras. This is the First Nations float. So reactionary governments are on the rise. Trump, Macron, and they are targeting the sex and gender diverse communities in their attempt to convince the masses of the massive people to conduct business as usual. And this business as usual includes the mass slaughter of Palestinians in perhaps what we are seeing in a phase of war capitalism. In the last 9 months, Israel has killed and or injured 150,000 Palestinians. A European capitalist class organised the occupation of Palestinian land using Judaism as a fig leaf and Zionism as its battering ram. They constructed Israel on Palestine's land 78 years ago. Israel has justified its recent genocide through pinkwashing, the argument that Israel is a beacon and safe haven for LGBTIQ plus people and a beacon of Western democracy. It is the first time in human history that LGBTIQ plus rights have been used to justify a genocide. Gay Independent MP of Sydney, Alex Greenwich, made a speech in New South Wales Parliament in mid-November saying Israel would be the only safe place for him as a gay man, for example. In November 2023, the Israel government posted these two photos on their social media. So this was very much a big part of their November push, ideological push, to dent the opposition that was growing worldwide. So yeah, this soldier, and actually if anyone follows him, he does this a lot. He just goes to areas that are bombed and shows the rainbow flag. Israel bars discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation. They do recognise foreign same-sex marriage and allow same-sex couples to adopt, but they have not granted marriage equality yet. They rank 50 in the Equaldex LGBT Equality Index, which is a global index. But Israel is a religious, militarised, patriarchal state that privileges citizens of the Jewish religion and oppresses everyone else. Their finance minister, far right, Bersal Shmurit, is a self-proclaimed fascist homophobe. Israel uses queerness for the particular communities in the first world, and they meter out homophobic discourse about religious conservatism and adherence to family values and revulsion towards queerness for the religious right internationally and within their local areas, and to Christian Zionists abroad. Palestine is ranked 146th in the Equaldex LGBT Equality Index, with consensual same-sex sexual acts legal in the West Bank, but not in Gaza. All the current laws in Gaza that criminalise queerness are in fact from colonial Britain and are upheld by Zionism. Israel has exported its pinkwashing program to the US, with pro-Israeli groups Stand With Us touring campuses. They promote their Tel Aviv Pride and queer film festivals throughout the First World. Now, of course, Israel oppresses all Palestinians, including queer Palestinians. There is no welcoming pink door in the wall for queer Palestinians to leave Gaza and make a life in Israel. Queer Palestinian groups, comrades should follow these ones, Al-Quaz and Aswat. They've been working at the grassroots level to bring visibility and acceptance of queer life within Palestinian society. Al-Quaz Queer Palestinian statement in November 2023, they put out a very interesting, very good statement from queer Palestinians in occupied territories, and they gathered 532 signatures, and they gathered signatures from organisations from 50 countries. Now, Queer Muslims for Palestine and Queers for a Liberated Palestine spokesperson from Brooklyn, Rafa Kidavia, says it in, I think, the best way. We are here to say there is no pride in genocide, that we demand an end to pinkwashing and using our trans queer bodies, stories and struggles to fuel Islamophobia and settler colonialism. I think to add to that, no one is free until Palestine is free.
So, yes, that was a little bit on the quiet side, but I don't have the ability to turn things up. So, anyway, see you later. Bye.